This is the Last Week in IT podcast, your best show about the IT world, presented to you by Jan and Pawel, two experts in their fields. Technology, business, analytics, project leading, mentoring, teaching, coaching, and much more. We talk IT. Hello everyone! So we told you that we will have a break for the holiday season, and looks like we had longer holiday season than we expected. And anyway, welcome in season 2 of our podcast together with Yasiu. Today we will tell you a little bit about what happened, what will happen, maybe even why.
I think I actually would like to mention that some of the companies, as they are approaching the 4 weeks work week, I guess we can deserve to have a bit of longer vacation as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, honestly speaking, both of us just deserve it. So that anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Like
Work-life
we
balance.
said a couple of times that we are too stupid to say no to many things which we are doing, like mentoring, like helping others, like doing this podcast, like doing other things. So yeah.
Big shout out to Brenna Oliveira and Nadia Harris, who have their own Leadership Outlook podcast. I happen to have a pleasure to be the guest on the podcast talking about the art of saying no and actually the assertiveness and whether we should be respecting our work-life balance or not. So if you'd be ever interested, I recommend you to check that, the Leadership Outlook podcast on Spotify. Definitely worth to check if you have some spare time.
Yeah, definitely yes. And looks like you are not able to say no.
No,
because
definitely
you was there.
Actually, I started the sentence with saying no, but
yes,
as always, I heard recently, I had a conversation on the project with one of my colleagues who said that what I am saying is correct. It's just the way how I say it is not necessarily always correct, because when I start answering the question saying no, it kind of like kills all of the mood. And even if I say something correctly, what follows the justification, it's just better to start with the justification and not to start with the word no. So just a pro tip in terms of conversation.
Well, yeah, but I wonder if we can learn anything from that. Anyway, so new year, new stuff around us, right? So last year, both of us, we were mentors in a Tech Lead program. We had a couple of mentees. I had 2. You had much more than me. The program was finished around, if I remember correctly, June, July, something like that.
Officially.
But both of us still work together with our mentees, right? Right now, we can say that we are glad to be part of this program again on the 9th edition. Both of us are mentors again. And right now we are in very, hard process of selecting our mentees, because we received our applications from the mentees. We need to select one, or we are able to have more. Again, we are too stupid to say no. So for sure I will have more than one, and knowing you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so hard to say no sometimes if you feel that you can really have a positive impact on the society, positive impact on people around you. And actually, last year in the program, Women in Technology, I had only 2 mentees, just because that was the limitation from the organizers, right? And I wanted to actually have more. And, I was just told by the organizers that, not necessarily. Those are the rules. We can only accept 2 people. However, I reached out to a couple of the mentees that I knew that they were from my region, and I just offered them the possibility that if they would like to not necessarily be the part of the program, but gain some knowledge, gain some experience, and just improve their overall IT understanding, then I can organize for them a mentoring session just by myself. And I found 5 mentees for whom I created such a program called Introduction to IT. And in that group, I had a person who was a musician. I had a person who was working in finance. I had a person who was working in communication. So completely not related to the IT world, but definitely very useful experience, and very good thing that, we have this possibility to bring some positive change to the people around us.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the biggest, let's say, reward for us, I believe, right? So to see how people progress, how people achieving their goals, even if they didn't know those goals on the beginning of the road. So that's really great. And I'm really, you remember, and we mentioned that a couple of times during my time at IPAM. I led the DevOps Academy there, and I really so proud to see some people and what they achieved. I even have talked about one of them.
Yeah, and this is also something that you've mentioned. The program finished in June of last year. However, still in December, still in January, I had meetings with my mentees just because if they require some consultation, if I can do something that can help them resolve some impediments or some obstacles that they are finding in their own day-to-day job, then why not to do that, right? It's a great opportunity to actually build connection, but also build your personal brand as well.
Yes, because this is something what we need to remember here as well. It's not I know how it sounds. It's not just about our mentees, it's also about us, right? And as you said, building the personal brand, building the awareness of yourself in the market, right? So this is something what is quite good to do. And yeah, the same like you. So I still have contacts with my mentees. We still do or will do or done in the past couple of sessions. So yeah, I mean, this kind of program like Tech Lead, okay, officially it's 3 months or so, 4 maybe, right? I'm very bad in math right now. Anyway, it's still, if you look on IT, there's 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 months, doesn't matter really. It's not enough, because this is something what we are in IT a long time already, and we're still learning. And the same applies to people who are jumping in or changing their ship in IT. So this is something what is very, very, very important to continue to follow, to see the progress, to see the directions where our mentees or former mentees are going. Maybe we can still direct them into some
And I
direction.
think also that's a very important aspect to have the first step even before, because of course you have your mentor's profile, you inform how you can help the people, but it's also important to actually meet with those people and to check whether they really have the right understanding of your role and of what is their expectation. Because of course we receive this profile, we receive this information about this application, what the people would like to choose, but it's also important to check their personality and their aspirations, and also check whether you are capable of actually finding the right support for them. Because some people who not necessarily have the right understanding of the IT world might just apply to the program, not knowing whether it's for them or not. And if a very simple example about misunderstanding of the I'm a business analyst, so the BA world. Some years ago, I received a request from a colleague who wanted to switch their career path. He was a .NET developer, and he asked me, would I be willing to mentor him to become a business analyst, because he's already tired with everlasting change of technology and the evolution of the .NET language, and he's already tired and exhausted of this. And I'm a business analyst, and all that we do is talking. So he's good at talking. He has good English. So he thinks that it will be much easier to switch from being a .NET developer to become a business analyst, right? And of course, took me a while to explain that. Well, it's not only about talking.
Yeah, well, it's maybe not very often, but it's quite often when we can see that there is some misunderstanding of things. Even if we work so closely, like DevOps with developers, developers with BAs, developers with testers, and so on, we do not really, let me say this in polite way, we don't really think that the other part of the IT world are that important and that complicated like our own, right? What is generally completely false picture.
It's like an embarrassing discussion with my colleague, who is more important, me because I bring the requirements from the business, or him because he's building the solution, right? And it's like or the business that comes with the requirement, It's like an everlasting discussion, and we always think that.
Yeah, and once, not that long time ago, I had very similar discussion, and I said, okay, without one of the puzzle here, we all are useless. The
Yeah, we don't
puzzle
have
cannot be
the full
completed.
picture. Yeah.
I don't want
But
this
coming
picture
back to the
now.
but coming back to the mentoring program in general, really a big shout out to the tech leaders. You can follow them on techleaders.eu for more details. It's amazing that they've actually managed to build this platform. And year after year, they receive thousands of applications.
Yes.
And they have more than 100 mentors who are willing to divide their own time, their own knowledge and skills to share with others. And there is so many opportunities there, because it's not only for DevOps or for business analysts. There's also about leadership skills. There's also about UX, UI. There is about testing. There is about project management, product management. Really, I think for those who would like to improve their skills, definitely worth investigating that, checking that. And it's also, like I mentioned, a very good platform for the mentors themselves, because a part of the mentoring program, there will be also workshops spread across the years on various topics about, like recently there is even one about the visibility, why it is important to be visible in the IT world. You can find that recording in YouTube, although that is in Polish. So for those of you who are listening from abroad, well, apologies.
Well, you can use Google Translator for this.
As well, true that. But in general, there is this really good opportunity to actually have that positive impact, right?
Definitely yes. And so many, the program is growing, really. More mentors, more mentees, more people wanted to join and be mentee, right? And I think we didn't mention that because we use the name Tech Leads, right? So the important part of this program is that you can be mentee only if you are a woman, right? So this program is designed for women to grow
It's
in
called
IT.
Women in Technology.
Yes, women in technology. Of course, as a mentor, there is no restriction like that. That's why we are in this program, I think, as a mentors.
Although there is this program, Their IT, where the mentors are only women.
Yes.
And it's like from women to women, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I did want to apply to be a mentor there, but well, no.
Well, probably you will be rejected then. Anyway, still there is place and there is real reason why programs like that should be there and are there. I don't think we should go into details of this. We had these discussions a couple of times, right, with people from from this program. What I'm looking for really is, again, the start and ending event, probably in Krakow again. And again, we will be the Statler and Waldorf there and commenting everything in our own style. However, the whole idea, and as you said, really kudos to the organizers and to people who maintain this program, is that they are really working hard.
And they're also volunteering for that, right? So they are not doing this as a full-time job. It's just something that they see sense in, that they believe in that. And really, actually, the whole kickoff event last year, the whole ending event, despite the fact what we thought about this and how we perceive that, it's still a very big engagement. And of course, it's easy to come and to criticize something from the outside. No, for those of you who you were not present on the meeting, but just let me give you this information that somehow during the event, especially on the ending one, there was like a panel of experts, and somehow the narration from the experts on the stage came to Paweł and myself, and somehow we were the ones who replied to big amount of questions from the audience, right? So despite the fact we were not on the stage, we were kind of like, well, I wouldn't say distraction to the main flow of the event, but I would say an interesting and colorful addition to share a bit more perspective.
Yeah, colorful addition. I like it. I really like it. Like Statler and Waldorf. They are also great addition, right? All right, so I think that's enough about the mentoring program which we are in. There are a couple of more things related to strictly technical aspects which I wanted to touch, because this is a big thing. And I know that you are not involved in this part of IT, but still it is worth to mention because this touches the topic of open source, really. And last year, just after our break, probably they waited for this, but of course, I'm kidding. Just after we went to vacations with our podcast, there was a big change in infrastructure as code world. HashiCorp Terraform stopped being really open source. And it happens that I had my small footprint in the project which was born there after this, OpenTofu. Previously, it was called OpenTF for the couple of weeks. Then we switched to OpenTofu. Right now, OpenTofu is part of Linux Foundation. We applied for CNCF, so hopefully very soon we will be part of the big CNCF family as a project. This is really, really, really great. What OpenTofu is? Well, it's simple infrastructure as code tool, similar to Terraform at this point. It's really drop-in replacement for Terraform at this point, because it will change, obviously, because those two projects will grow in their own ways.
Sure.
And it's a really interesting time. And, another aspect to this, which we both can talk about, is that this gives a little bit stalled market of IAC tools, like Terraform, CloudFormation, RM, things like this. New, fresh air, because this is still like a Terraform family, we can say, or based on Terraform, but still, this is the new project, new group of people behind that, not stick with any company. It is really, truly open source project, and we'll see where it will go, because this will be quite interesting journey.
Before going to the details, just if you could just also tell to our audience the CNCF, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation.
Yes.
A couple of words, because you mentioned the acronym, but not everyone will know what Cloud Native Computing Foundation is.
All right. So this is the, I would say, most known foundation in IT world for open source. It is part of Linux Foundation, which is less known but bigger. Well, it owns CNCF and a couple of more foundation, like CD Foundation, which I am the ambassador.
But it's kind of new, right? It's like less than 10 years.
Something like that. I don't remember that well, but yes, it's relatively new, let's say. And what is important, you can say, especially in IT market, established market, regulated market, right?
Yeah.
Why we need open source tool? Like, come on, we are regulated environment. So let me ask this. Are you using Linux in your regulated environment? If yes, you have kernel there, right? Where is kernel? Under CNCF. Do you use Kubernetes? If yes, where is Kubernetes? Under CNCF. So it's not like this is something for nerds, geeks to work at home lab and nothing else. It is really, really big thing. CNCF organize a lot of meetings, a lot of community groups. So we have two big conferences organized by CNCF. I mean big conferences, because they organize more than that. We have KubeCon in Europe and KubeCon in America. This year there will be KubeCon in Paris, in Europe. Somewhere around November it will be American one. And these are really, really big events. Really, the open source community is so powerful and so engaging and creating so many new solutions, not closed solutions, so everyone can, contribute to this. That is so amazing to be part of this, and I'm really happy that I had this chance to be part of this journey.
So now you've mentioned that this you have this OpenTofu, right? That it's this fork created from this Terraform.
Yeah.
And so the Terraform stopped being open source?
Yes, they changed the license from the MPL, if I remember correctly, to BSL, so Business Source License. So generally, this license is partially open source. It's not treated as open source anymore. And the BSL has specific approach to things, which is really not that good. Let me say this way on the market. For example, the licensor is saying who can use this product as open source, where the license will change, because after you publish some version of your application, after some years, the BSL license can be changed to any proper open source license, but the licensor selects when, how, and why, and it's not very clear. This license is like, I'm calling this parameterized license, and everything what is parameterized, there are risks.
So I assume, as a Linux lover, you are all for open source and all for liberty and all for contribution. Well, you being the contributor to mentoring programs, conferences, tech talks, appearances. Well, again, we are giving something to the community, right?
Yes,
so
of course. That's true.
That's going to be for some of us, that can be a driver. Just
Exactly.
to pat on the back, good job, and
that's more than enough very often.
Yeah. I think in general, when it comes to motivation, we could make a whole topic about motivation in the IT world.
Yes.
In general, maybe one day we'll make an episode about this. But I do believe that having contributors, if every company will have 10% of people who want to contribute to open source or contribute to any kind of initiative or engagement, that's already a highly engaging company.
Yeah, and funny thing, because OpenTofu started some let's say food trend in open source IT world. As I said, OpenTofu is drop-in replacement and the replacement, let's say, for Terraform, right? But there is another project which started recently, let's say, after OpenTofu started. It's called OpenBao. So
like a bao bun, so then it's like a whole will be everything with the food.
Yeah, it is like replacement for the HashiCorp Vault. So there are, I believe we can find open source projects for almost everything to change the proper in quotes, closed project into open source one. Of course, open source and closed project both have their own pros and cons. As always, it's up to you what you want to use, but still.
I remember, when I was still at university many years ago, Microsoft had their approach at the Silverlight technology. Right? It was from the Windows Presentation Foundation. And, of course, Linux had to have their own free version, or the open source version. I think it was called Moonlight or something like that. And it was their equivalent of Microsoft Silverlight, right? So
yeah.
it's always good to have this alternative, that you are not limited only to one thing, right?
Yeah, of course. And having more players is good for competition and good for new advancements in the technology. So we looking forward.
And even looking outside from the IT world, I mean, in general, there are those people who come up with a new invention, and they could of course make a patent and monetize it and gain profit. But sometimes they just deliver that freely and said, especially, I think coronavirus was a good example, that a lot of researchers were publishing their researches for free.
Yes.
Just so that, other laboratories would be able to benefit from that research and just, continue to, fight the good fight, right?
And the virus itself was free as well. You can get it for free. Right?
But in general, I think that's the beauty of this open source, that really, if you have a willingness to contribute to, again, make this positive impact on the world, that's definitely something that
exactly,
should
just
be
do it.
Yeah, exactly. Sky's the limit. It can help you build your own visibility, your own recognition, and also, if not anything else, make you feel good about yourself, that you are really changing the world to make it a better place.
Exactly. And to be a mentor, for example, going back to what we started, to be a mentor, to be someone who is sharing the knowledge, the experience, it doesn't mean that you need to have like 20 years of experience in some field or whatever. You can be just on the beginning of your road as well, but you did a few steps already, so you can show the directions to people who didn't do that yet. So it's no better time than now to start.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are afraid, thinking, "Oh, but do I have this skills? Do I have the possibility?" Well, you might sit and think constantly.
Yes.
You just, need to sometimes get out of the comfort zone, try it, and if you will not succeed at the first time, try the second time, try the third time. But over the course of time, definitely, success is guaranteed because everything comes with practice.
Completing what I said especially about starting early, I love to hear this kind of stories said by people who we can say doesn't have an experience. Because for me, it is not also interesting because of hearing that kind of story, but also I can get something from it to implement in my approach to mentorships, to my approach how to be better mentor or teacher or whatever, right? So it doesn't matter that I can see myself as more experienced than this person. There is always something I can take from him or her.
Yeah, definitely. And on that positive note, I think it's a good time to end this episode. So thank you so much for everyone who tuned in to listen to the first episode of the second season of Last Week in IT. And we hope to speak to you again in the next episode. So please take good care, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, and take care. Don't get coronavirus even for free, and see you next time.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Last Week in IT podcast. As we wrap up today's episode, we invite you to share your thoughts with us. Feel free to reach out, comment, subscribe, and like our show to not miss any new episode. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you again next time.